Got the knife. Drop it, buddy. Hey. Don't do it, Chris. Don't. Drop the knife. Someone tase him. Still got it. He still got it.
In June 2022, on a remote mountain road in Colorado, USA, a police body cam video shocked the nation. Christian Glass, a 22-year-old young man, was shot and killed by the very officers who responded to his call for help. That night, he had accidentally driven onto a secluded mountain path, his SUV becoming stuck off the road. Panicked, he called the police hoping for assistance. But after a standoff lasting over an hour, instead of rescuing him, police smashed his window and opened fire. The heart-wrenching part? Moments before he was shot, Glass made a heart gesture with his hands towards the officers through the window, trying to show he meant no harm. This bizarre and tragic incident sparked public outrage, forcing everyone to ask, how could a young man calling for police help meet such a horrific end? Christian Glass was born in New Zealand and moved to the US with his parents as a child, holding dual citizenship. His family described him as a gentle, kind soul who loved art, nature, and geology. Someone with no aggressive tendencies towards others. Glass had ADHD, managed with prescription Ritalin, and experienced occasional bouts of depression, but had no history of severe mental illness. At the time of the incident, he was driving home to Boulder County, Colorado after a solo geology and painting trip in Utah. No one could have imagined that this life-loving young man would meet such a tragic end after reaching out to the police for help. Late on the night of the 10th of June, 2022, Glass's SUV veered off the road and became stuck on a remote mountain path near Silver Plume, Clear Creek County, Colorado. Around 11:20 p.m., feeling desperate, Glass called police. In a near 25-minute call with a dispatcher, his voice frantic, Glass pleaded, "My car is really stuck. I need assistance immediately. Please." "I can't get out myself." He repeatedly begged for help to come quickly, saying he was not doing well right now. Glass also mentioned his depression had recently improved, but he was terrified there might be unclean things around him.
Hello, 911.
I'm in a vehicle. My vehicle got stuck in a really bad way. Do you know the skinwalkers, man? They might just go by. I might be lucky.
Okay, can I get your date of birth real quick?
I'm so lucky. Oh, I'm so lucky.
He used the term skinwalkers, referring to shape-shifting entities from Native American folklore, not a real threat. While online rumors later swirled about mutilation monsters at the scene, this was purely a hallucination born of Glass's panic state. There were no other people or monsters posing any threat that night. Glass proactively told the dispatcher he had two small knives, a hammer, and the rubber mallet in his car, tools he carried as a geology enthusiast. He candidly admitted these items could be seen as weapons and offered to throw them out the window immediately upon police arrival to avoid misunderstanding. He repeatedly assured them, "I am not dangerous. I will keep my hands visible at all times. I understand this is tricky for you guys too." Glass sounded shaky and emotionally volatile during the call, at times expressing gratitude and even affection towards the dispatcher, clinging to the voice on the phone for comfort.
Weapons that you're aware of?
I have a weapon on me. I will throw them out the window as soon as an officer gets here. I have two knives and a hammer, and a rubber mallet. I guess that's a weapon. I'm not dangerous. I will keep my hands completely visible. I had a spiritual awakening a few months ago and came out of my 10 years of depression, and I've just been. Come, please help. That's not good. Fine. What's that beep? I love you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love you, seriously. You're my light right now. I love you.
When relaying the situation to responding units, the dispatcher described Glass as very paranoid, rambling, and officers heading to the scene also mentioned suspecting he might have mental health issues.
He sounds very paranoid, stated that he's in an ambush, and he has a feeling that people are watching him.
Officers from the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office arrived at the scene shortly after midnight on the 11th of June, around 12:30 a.m. They were soon joined by Colorado State Patrol and officers from neighboring towns like Georgetown and Idaho Springs. In total, 7 officers from 5 different law enforcement agencies converged on Glass's car. Upon arrival, police immediately drew their weapons and ordered Glass to get out for a check. Terrified, Glass refused to exit, stating how scared he was. He reiterated his offer to throw the knives and tools out right then to show he wasn't a threat. But Clear Creek County Deputy Andrew Bowen loudly commanded him to get out of the car immediately. Glass complied by placing his keys on the dashboard, keeping his hands raised high and visible to show they were empty. He also threw one of the small knives to the far side of the car, away from himself, in a gesture of cooperation.
Step out of the car now! You just had a knife in your lap.
Right.
Okay. And I appreciate that.
You're scared of a knife. Why are you scared of a knife if you're not even shot?
That's why I want you out of the car so we can have this conversation safely. Period. That's it.
This is the only way I can be safe. I don't understand.
For the next nearly 70 minutes, officers repeatedly tried to persuade Glass to get out. But Glass insisted that staying in the car was the only place he felt safe, saying multiple times, "If I get out now, I might be in danger. As soon as the car is unstuck, I'll drive straight to the police station with you," he negotiated, also admitting he had smoked some marijuana while waiting for help and was extremely anxious. As time dragged on, more backup arrived. Officers from 5 different agencies surrounded his vehicle, creating a tense standoff. At one point, an officer threatened to forcibly break the window and drag him out, prompting Glass to clasp his hands in prayer.
I will break the window. Step out of the car. Step out of the car. Step out of the car. .116. Party is not being cooperative and refusing to.
Then, as the standoff neared the 1-hour mark, Glass made a surprising move. From his driver's seat, he raised his hands and formed a heart shape, even blowing a kiss towards one female officer, desperately trying to de-escalate the situation and show his peaceful intent. The female officer, visibly moved by this, responded gently, encouraging him to come out and talk to her. Glass making the hard gesture through the window, hoping to signal he meant no harm.
Hey, Christian? Will you talk to me? What can you tell me about what's going on? We're trying to help you out. Okay, I see that. I see you're being cooperative. So, you know, the best way that you can help us out is just, you know, by putting away anything that you may have on you, and then allowing us to talk to you outside of the vehicle. That would be the best situation for all of us right now. You know, I see you're doing the heart thing with your hands, but we love you too. We just want you to be safe.
But this heartfelt gesture didn't resonate with all the officers present. Bodycam footage later revealed that a Colorado State Patrol officer privately asked a Clear Creek deputy how they planned to end this, stating plainly, if this guy hasn't committed a crime, isn't suicidal or homicidal, and isn't in major danger, then we don't really have a reason to make contact, do we? This comment was meant to remind colleagues that Glass posed no threat and non-coercive options existed. However, the Clear Creek deputies seemed determined not to leave without compliance, insisting Glass follow the order to exit. Given the circumstances, police had alternatives, calling in a specialized mental health crisis team or temporarily withdrawing to allow Glass to calm down. Sadly, the officers on scene rejected these more restrained approaches. Legal experts noted that neighboring counties actually had 24/7 mental health crisis response teams available just a 30 to 45 minute drive away. Yet, police made no attempt to utilize these resources, nor did they choose patience. Instead, they made a fateful decision that escalated the situation catastrophically to forcibly remove Glass from the car and end the standoff quickly. After 12:30 a.m., the commanding officer on scene, frustrated by the prolonged standoff, ordered forced entry. Their impatience was clear in the comment. It's still early in the night. We can't sit here all night. On command, Deputy Buen struck the driver's side window with his baton, shattering it instantly. Almost simultaneously, another officer jumped onto the car hood and shone a bright flashlight through the windshield, blinding Glass. The sudden, violent intrusion terrified Glass, sending him into a further state of panic. Bodycam footage shows Glass grabbing a small knife and flailing in his seat, screaming in terror. Officers immediately shouted, "Drop the knife!" They then fired multiple less lethal beanbag rounds into the car. Glass writhed in agony, thrashing wildly inside the confined space. Amidst the chaos, someone yelled, "Taser! Taser! Taser!" Buen then fired his taser into the car, incapacitating Glass with an electric shock. Shots of Glass and the searing pain of the taser drove Glass to the brink of hysteria. He screamed uncontrollably inside the car, while officers outside continued shouting for him to drop the knife.
Got the knife. Drop it, buddy. Hey. One boy, one boy.
Unlock button.
Nope, he needs to drop that knife. Christian,
Drop the knife!
Drop the knife! Please drop the knife,
He
Christian.
does not have the knife.
It's in his fucking hand, Chief.
Okay. Taser from over there. Christian, right here. Look at this.
You still got beanbag?
Yep. Look at
Get that
this.
knife out of his fucking hand.
Beanbag. Christian. Hit the, reach in.
Impact, impact, impact! He's not dropping it. Knife, Christian!
Okay, one more. Reach in and get the...
Tase him. Tase him from the back. Don't do it, Christian! Don't! Drop the knife!
Drop the knife.
Drop that knife! Someone tase his ass. Someone tase him.
He is.
Still got it. He still got it.
But the situation was now completely out of control. After the taser shock, Glass, still holding the knife, was in a state of utter terror. Suddenly, he twisted towards the passenger side. His hand, holding the bladed tool, appeared to make a motion towards the window as if swinging it vaguely in the direction of an officer near that door. In that split second, Deputy Buen, positioned near the front of the car, raised his service weapon and fired multiple shots into the vehicle at Glass. Gunshots echoed through the night as bullets pierced the windshield. Glass, hit multiple times, collapsed onto his seat. In mere seconds, from window smash to gunfire, the situation had escalated fatally. Christian Glass died in the very car he had sought refuge in, his life cut short at 22. Crucially, throughout the entire ordeal, bodycam footage confirms Glass remained trapped in his driver's seat. He never exited the vehicle or advanced on the officers.
Christian, drop it!
Drop the knife, Christian!
You can save yourself. You can still save yourself. One more. Christian.
Drop the knife!
Please drop the knife! Randy, you
Christian.
got that door held shut?
After the gunfire, a brief, eerie silence fell over the scene. Medical personnel arrived soon after, but Glass, with multiple gunshot wounds to his abdomen and chest causing massive bleeding, was pronounced dead at the scene. The autopsy report revealed 6 gunshot wounds concentrated on his torso and upper right arm. He also had superficial knife cuts on his neck and body, and blunt force injuries to his head and limbs. The medical examiner determined these shallow cuts were consistent with self-inflicted wounds, likely occurring in a disoriented state as Glass was dying from the gunshots. Toxicology results showed a very low blood alcohol level and traces of marijuana and amphetamines, the latter matching his prescribed ADHD medication, not illegal drugs. The coroner officially ruled the cause of death as multiple gunshot wounds, and the manner of death as homicide. Hours after the shooting, on the morning of the 11th of June, the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office issued a press release attempting to explain the officer-involved shooting. It labeled Glass a suspect, claiming he was verbally confrontational, non-compliant, and armed with a knife. The release stated police attempted for over an hour to peacefully resolve the situation, but ultimately had to break the window to remove a knife, after which Glass rearmed himself with a rock and a second knife and threatened officers. It described the use of beanbag rounds and a taser, culminating in Glass being shot when he attempted to stab an officer. This official narrative painted a picture of a combative, resisting suspect. However, when bodycam footage was later released, this account was exposed as highly misleading and in key aspects blatantly contradicted by the evidence. Glass's father, Simon, later stated angrily that the police press release contained almost nothing that was true. Only after obtaining the footage through lawyers did the family discover how many critical details were initially concealed by police. As Simon said, "It was dark, my son was terrified. He trusted the police to help him, and instead they attacked and killed him." His mother Sally questioned, "With 7 officers pointing guns at him, I probably wouldn't have gotten out of the car either." This tragedy was entirely caused by the police. To the family, Glass wasn't a knife-wielding suspect described by police, but a terrified victim. Without the video evidence, the truth might have been lost under the weight of the official narrative. 3 months after Glass's death, his parents, Simon and Sally, held a tearful press conference in Denver on the 13th of September 2022, detailing the events and denouncing it as murder by Colorado law enforcement. The family pursued justice on 2 fronts, pushing for criminal accountability and filing a civil lawsuit. Thanks to their relentless efforts, the case was presented to a grand jury. On the 23rd of November 2022, the Clear Creek County Grand Jury formally indicted the shooter, Deputy Andrew Bowen, on charges including second-degree murder, reckless endangerment, and official misconduct. They also indicted Clear Creek County Sergeant Kyle Gould, who wasn't physically present but, as the on-duty supervisor, had authorized the forced entry by phone on charges of criminally negligent homicide and reckless endangerment. That same day, both Bowen and Gould were fired by the sheriff's office. Notably, Gould's indictment underscored the leadership responsibility he bore for proving the fatal escalation from afar. Alongside the criminal proceedings, the Glass family achieved a major milestone in their civil case. On May 23, 2023, they reached a $19 million settlement agreement with Clear Creek County, the state of Colorado, and the towns of Georgetown and Idaho Springs. This stands as the largest settlement in Colorado history for a police misconduct death case. Following months of investigation and preparation, the 2 charged officers, Bowen and Gould, faced court in late 2023. On the 16th of November 2023, Sergeant Kyle Gould, the remote commander, reached a plea deal with prosecutors. He pleaded guilty to the misdemeanor charge of failing to intervene to stop the use of unreasonable force by his colleague. In exchange, prosecutors dropped the felony charges of criminally negligent homicide and reckless endangerment against him. Gould was sentenced to 2 years of probation and a fine. Crucially, he voluntarily agreed to a lifetime ban from ever working in law enforcement again. The trial of the shooter, Andrew Bowen, drew even more attention. His first trial on charges including second-degree murder began in Clear Creek County Court on the 8th of April 2024. After nearly 3 weeks, the jury deadlocked on the murder charge. A single juror held out against conviction, resulting in a mistrial for the felony charges of second-degree murder and official misconduct. The jury did reach a unanimous verdict on the lesser charge of reckless endangerment, finding Bowen guilty on that count. The courts immediately scheduled a retrial for the unresolved, more serious charges. Due to legal procedures and defense motions, this retrial was postponed to early 2025. In February 2025, Bowen's retrial commenced under intense scrutiny. This time, prosecutors adjusted their strategy, charging him primarily with criminally negligent homicide, arguing that his reckless and negligent actions that night caused Glass's death. After nearly 8 hours of deliberation, the jury unanimously found Buen guilty of criminally negligent homicide. On the 14th of April, 2025, the judge sentenced Buen to the maximum term for that conviction. 3 years in prison, plus 2 years of mandatory parole. Under Colorado law, this conviction also permanently revoked his peace officer's certification, barring him from ever holding any law enforcement position in the state again. Notably, during his final sentencing hearing, Buen broke his silence for the first time, apologizing directly to Glass's family. He tearfully told the judge, "There were 100 different ways that night could have gone better. I regret it every day, wishing I could go back and change things. My decisions escalated the situation. Christian deserved better. I failed him." The Christian Glass case resonated deeply across America. Ordinary citizens rallied in support of the Glass family through vigils, protests, and online petitions demanding justice for the young life lost. Near the site where he died, communities held candlelight vigils, hundreds gathered, holding candles and praying, mourning a young man they never knew, but whose story touched their hearts. From the moment Christian Glass called police, he deserved protection and aid. Instead, he met the sound of gunfire. May the tragic sacrifice of this young man serve as a stark warning that leads to real change. It's our hope that in the near future, when someone calls police for help, they are met with a warm, reliable hand, not the cold muzzle of a gun. Every life deserves compassion. Every cry for help deserves to be heard and protected. Only by learning the hard lessons of the Christian Glass case can law enforcement begin to rebuild public trust and truly live up to their duty to protect and serve. So, what are your thoughts on this case? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video impactful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.